Welcome to Mad About Money. I'm Maddy Alexander-Grout, and this is the podcast that is all about money. I'm here with the fabulous Janine Mcdonald from Clear the Clutter Now, who is a decluttering specialist, which I'm so excited about hearing more about this because I bloody love decluttering. It's one of my favourite ways to make money. So Janine's going to tell us a little bit about her money story. But before that, Janine, tell us a little bit about you and what you do.
Yeah, thanks, Maddy. So, like I said, it's Clear the Clutter Now. So it's sustainable decluttering and organising, because I don't believe in you have to wait to get all the nice storage boxes and more storage to start your decluttering journey. You can use what you already have. And my daughter's T-shirts are still in a shoebox to organise them in her drawers. And when I go and see clients, it's like, oh yeah, I didn't think of that. You know, you've got lots of pens lying around. It's like, right, okay, let's have a look in your recycling bin in the kitchen. What, have you had a tin of beans recently? Right, let's make sure it's really, really clean. You can paint it if you want to later, but let's put your pens in there. That's a pen pot. So it's using all
That's
the
great. I love that.
around you. Oh, I love it. And I actually challenge people to come to me and say, right, give me something that you're finding hard to recycle or repurpose, and I'll come up with something for you.
I've got a challenge for you.
Go on.
I'm going to show you this. Thing is, I'm really scared that I'm going to unplug my ring light here. This is, and I've shown these on my TikToks before. This is my broken drawer set. So okay. Totally broken. So almost like these are broken as well. They just like the bottoms have fallen out of them.
Yeah.
And at the moment, I don't use any of the clothes in there because I can't get in there at all. I'm like, do I just throw? I mean, and now I'm rolling over. See, I mean, I could do a decluttering my desk really because it's just, as you just saw then, too much around. But yeah, I mean, I haven't used most of the stuff in there for about 6 months because I can't get in. I use the things that are at the front, which are the things that I put in when I'm doing my cleaning. My ring light.
To be honest, that is like most people, even if their drawers are fully working. They go to what's on top.
Yeah.
But if you're looking at, are you looking at the clothes side of things with your drawers or the actual set of drawers?
I mean, the drawers can get in the bin. It's just, it's my husband. I'm trying to make him buy me a new set of these bloody drawers.
Okay, so the drawers you could actually put in the garden and use the drawers as planters.
Oh, yeah.
Or you could actually take the drawers out and dependent upon where the slats are to put the drawers in, you could actually make it into a different style cabinet. So you could still have the drawers at the top or the bottom, depends on which work. And then you put a piece of wood in the middle and then use it as that middle bit as a display, or put the kids' board games on.
Oh yeah. Do you know what? I'm thinking I've got these books actually that maybe I could use it as like a bookshelf to tidy my desk up a bit. Because in my mind, I'm thinking all of those clothes that are in there, I could sell those because I haven't worn them in 6 months.
Yep.
And if I haven't worn something in 6 months, I mean, obviously there's like the summer winter split. So I'm at the time now where I'm going to be sorting out my wardrobe for winter anyway. And I'll put all of my jumpers in the loft and I'll get all my summer clothes out. But I haven't missed any of the things in there. And T-shirts, which is, I think, what it is. I wear T-shirts under my jumpers. So if I haven't worn the ones that I've got under my jumpers, I've got too many clothes and they can all go. They will go to, I mean, I'm going to try selling them first. And then if I don't sell them, they will then go to the charity shop.
Yeah. But, because they help so many other people. And you can actually donate to charity shops things that aren't in a resaleable condition. So what I would suggest there is you put it into a separate bag, mark it up as rags. They then weigh that in and get money for those clothes as well.
Oh, I did not know you could do that, because there have been a lot of things that I've put, normally the things that are a bit worse for wear I'll put in the Salvation Army bin, but that's interesting, because I always think, and I've got about 1 million like old work shirts and things, which like I just think, well, no one's going to want those, but homeless people probably want them, wouldn't they? Because they're
if they're work shirts, there are particular charities who support homeless or less advantaged people do go to work interviews. So they do coaching, but they also will help supply them with interview outfits.
I mean, I mean, like when I'm saying work shirts, I mean like branded ex-business workwear, which I just, I would feel sorry for anybody who was wearing them. But at the same time, I'm like, I've got 5 hoodies that take up a lot of space where I'm like, yeah, that needs to go. But in my mind,
if you're not wearing them, it depends how big the branding is on them. In the, I know it's hard to pass on branded items, but if it's a logo, say a small logo on the front breast pocket or something, then you could put a patch over it.
Of course you could. Yeah,
you can get ones, you get really quite funky ones now, or a positive affirmation patch.
Put a pocket on it.
There's lots of people out there who have, now, depending on where you're from, depends on how you say this, a Cricut or a circuit machine. And they print onto t-shirts and that, so they could print on a piece of material anything you want and then sew it over the top. So that's if you felt that you loved the hoodie, you loved the colour, you would wear it if it didn't have the branding on it.
I like that idea. That is a great way to repurpose something. And I guess this is what we do. I mean, I kind of we went into like tips and stuff before we'd even talked about your money journey, which is the whole reason why we're here. So let's talk a bit about your money journey, and then we can go back to the tips afterwards, because I think you're going to be a specialist within the Mad About Money app. So you're going to be around giving your decluttering tips anyway, which I'm super excited about because I love it. Like, I really do love it, but we'll talk a bit more about that. So Janine, tell me your money story.
Okay, so I, as a youngster, as a young girl, I got my spending money on things. And thank you. And I would save it up, and I saved it, and I would spend a little bit. And then fast forward a number of years, and got married, and had.
That's always a mistake, isn't it? That's where it all goes wrong.
Yes, it did go wrong. And I was made redundant. And I found that my husband at the time had racked up a lot of debt.
Oh, no.
Which I didn't know about. So it ended up with us remortgaging the house.
Oh, no.
Having a longer term. And then I was ill. And it ended up that basically when we sold the house, because we split up, selling the house, we then didn't have anywhere to go. So I went and stayed with a friend who she's one of my best friends now, but I didn't really know her at the time. And she took myself and my 2 girls in, and we actually ended up staying for 12 months. And she nurtured us and got me back to being confident again.
Oh, that's lovely.
But then when we had children, child tax credits comes in, and we were eligible for that, and which was great until something went wrong. And that was at the point where I'd been made redundant. The redundancy pay isn't meant to be taken into consideration for certain things. And then who I worked for, I advised them, so they then thought I was earning mega bucks.
Oh, no.
And I was getting, it was when we had post twice a day then, and I was getting brown envelopes in every single post, saying that we owed 10 grand, 8 grand, 6 grand, 13 grand. And I'm like, I got to the point where I couldn't actually open a brown envelope.
Yeah.
And I sought support from Mind, the mental health charity, and they really helped me and set up a payment plan. They explained why and how it had worked, but then we couldn't understand why the amount kept changing, and we still don't know. And from there, I was at rock bottom then. And to me, to owe money was just like, no, I don't owe money.
Scary, isn't it?
Yeah, I've never owed money for anything. I'd save up to buy the sofa.
Yeah.
So that was always my mindset. And now all of a sudden I'm plunged into this amount of debt and remortgaging and looking at child tax credits and everything. It became so overwhelming. But then as we sold the house, we'd split up, and then my mental well-being wasn't great, so I was unable to work for a number of years. So again, then on to benefits and not working tax credits, employment and support allowance.
Yeah.
So it was a case of, right, yes, with the deal that you can work in the future, just not now.
Yeah.
But then it came to the stage where I was feeling okay, and then I was told, right, yeah, you're fit enough to work, you need to go and find a job. So the job aspect was going along, applying for jobs, but employers couldn't understand why I'd gone from being a corporate manager to suddenly needing part-time work within school hours and school holidays off.
Yeah.
Because I was now a single parent of 2 young children and I couldn't afford the childcare.
Childcare is so expensive. It's horrific.
Well, even as a bank manager as I was, all of my salary went on 2 children full-time nursery.
Yeah.
And I came home with about £30 a month.
There's just no point, is there? No point in working. It's so expensive.
Yeah. And we need that level of support, especially for mums or stay-at-home dads, or whatever it is in the relationship, is that, and the pandemic has done a lot for that as well, in that women are still juggling childcare at home and working at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's because if you're working from home, it's that constant then that you are there all the time, and all these boundaries overlap each other.
Do you know what? This is exactly why during the pandemic, when the teachers phoned me to say, why is Ben not doing any work? I said to them, because I've got 2 businesses that I'm running. My husband is going to work every day because he works outside, so he's allowed to. And I'm about to have a nervous breakdown. So that's why my child is not getting his lessons at home. I've also got a 1-year-old who, anytime I try and get any work out, just scribbles all over it. So that's why I'm not doing it. And they went, okay, that's fine. And I went, good, because it's not that I don't care about my child's education. And we did so many things that were educational, we'd go to the beach and we'd go and pick up shells, and we'd go and make collages out of them, and we'd play in the garden, and we'd do gardening, and we'd learn about science and do all these things. But I did not want to do the stuff that they gave me. I was no.
It was life learning.
Yeah.
It was
exactly.
Learning in a totally different way.
Yeah.
And I actually set up my business 2 weeks before the pandemic.
Oh man.
So because I couldn't get a job.
But actually, was it a good time for you, the pandemic?
Personally or business-wise?
Business-wise, because I would have thought that actually, with people being in their houses, I mean, if I'd have known about you during the pandemic, and I think I found out about you afterwards, which is annoying, but I would have 100% needed you in my life, because I was living in a shitty house that I hated, thinking, how the hell can I make this work with the very, very little space that I've got, and my 2 kids and my dog and my husband? And I moved into this house before I found out I was pregnant, and we've outgrown it. We outgrew it way before the pandemic. And I sat here every single day hating my life because I hated my house so much. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know that, I'm really grateful for having a roof over my head, really grateful that I've got a house to live in. But, when you're sat in one place every day hating the stuff around you, it does get very depressing. So,
I mean, you can become 10% more productive if you work in a decluttered environment.
Yes.
Stress levels go down. Your serotonin goes up. There's so many benefits of it. But what I found was that initially, as I set it up, I was doing a lot of networking, a lot of getting my name known, and suddenly being able to go in home to thinking, what am I going to do? So I did more studying, but I also started online decluttering with people as well, and running one-to-one sessions there. And I have a client in London. So I'm based in Manchester. I have a client in London, and she goes to me, Janine, she said, it's like you're in the room with me. It's like you sat on my shoulder. You don't miss a trick.
That's amazing.
It works really well.
What made you decide that decluttering was the route for you to go down?
I knew I didn't want to go back into finance. I
Yeah.
knew I didn't want to go back into the corporate world because the hours just weren't suiting. And what I'd found was that I loved helping other people.
Mm.
And I started a business course with the idea that, right, I'm gonna turn my hobby of photography into a business. So it was a week-long free business course. And on the Wednesday, so I started on the Monday, I'm going to be a photographer. On the Wednesday, I'd set up a website, social media, register my business name, and become a declutterer. And
that's brilliant. And that is ADHD for you, isn't it? Like you just you go down that kind of like, I'm going to do this, and you hyper focus on it so much, and you're like.
But then I just thought, actually, yes, to do X, Y, and Z in photography, it's a lot of weekend work. And I'd go around to friends' houses and they'd go, oh, do you know, I just need to sort the kids' books out. And I'd be like, right, come on, let's go and do it now.
I want you to come to my house and like just literally sort all of it out, because
I'll come.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it.
I'm paying for you to come. You can come and spend the weekend with me and we'll just declutter the shit out of my house, and it'll be amazing. I mean, I'm going to need it at some point because I want
you would find it's such a difference, not just to you, but to everybody. Everybody in your family. And you'll look forward to coming home. But you're right, as you were saying about the pandemic, social media played a large part in that, because people who were on furlough, so were suddenly getting paid, but not going out to work, so they had disposable income, that they then decluttered to the last spider in the loo. You know, everything. They'd built
they can definitely go.
They built a fort outside for the kids, you know, on a massive sandpit and this, that, and the other. And other people, their homes were just closing in on them.
That was how I felt. Really was.
Because you're trying to work, you've got kids, you're trying to home educate them, you're trying to do this, you're trying to juggle everything. And tidying up was the last thing that you could even face.
I mean, that's the last thing I can face every day. Like, I'm not a tidier. Unless the bug gets me, and then I will do the whole house in one go. So I had a thing. I started before Christmas. My decluttering does happen, and actually, you know, I am quite hyper focused when I do it. But I choose a very, very small area every single time. And my main aim when I declutter something is, what can I sell? And
which is brilliant.
And I made £1,000 by selling my shit. And I mean, it was literally shit. It was like old gift sets of makeup that people had given me that I'd never used, or like, you know, books that we had 2 of, or, you know, things that I'd bought from the charity shop that actually I didn't think I was going to need. And that got me into the thrifting side. So I now buy stuff from charity shops that I think I can resell. And over the last 6 months, I've made £1,000 just from selling stuff,
which is incredible.
I've got to the point now where the only stuff now that I've got left to sell, really, and this is a lie, because I'm in the kids' toys. There's so much that can go. It's the loft, and where I've got about 3 push chairs, a Moses basket, a big cot, mainly baby stuff up there, but it can definitely go. And actually, then I'd have a free loft, and then I could put my children up there when they piss me off. That's the only thing I'm thinking. But yeah, I just think it is such an important thing. And do people ever say to you, oh, that's not a proper job? Because like, I think it's really important, but it would be never something I would have thought of as a job.
Yeah, I've never had anybody say to me as in, well, that's not a job.
No.
It's a lot of it is, oh, I need you.
Yeah, God, yeah.
Or it'll be, oh yes, I need to declutter my house. And then I'll go, when
why don't you do it? Yeah.
Why don't you do it? When are you going to start? And it's too overwhelming.
Oh God, yeah.
And it's like, you know, I can go and declutter with somebody else. I can go on the mindset. I can dig down as to why they're keeping things, and you know, ask lots of questions and a bit of the psychology side of it. My own house, different matter altogether.
Oh God. I mean, people, I'm the same. Like, if I practice what I preached on all of my money saving tips, because sometimes I don't, like sometimes I'm just like, I'll go out for dinner or whatever, and I'll be like, oh God, I could have saved on that, and I forget.
Yeah, it is. It's hard, but culture has been part of my journey.
Mm.
And this is where a lot of my clients are now finding me, and because of my journey.
Yes.
And it's that, somebody has said to me, Janine, you're human. And I was like, oh, thank you.
And this is like, do you know what? I would much rather have you going through my shit than Stacey Solomon. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I mean, I love that program. It's brilliant. It's really good. I just think, I don't know if I took all of my house outside and then brought it back in again. I think I'd need like 5 village halls for the amount of clutter that I've got. But I would much rather somebody that's relatable and interesting, who's got their own story.
Yeah.
I've watched one of those, and there was this lady who was, I mean, I know that I've got stuff that, like, I had the best intentions of doing things with. Like, I always wanted to make a memory bear out of baby grows, my kids' baby grows. I've still got the baby grows. I've never made the memory bear. Likelihood is I probably won't, but I'm still attached to those items, and I'm still like, I need those in my life.
So that's where it comes to that decision. Do you alter what you're going to make, as in make it into a blanket rather than a memory bear, or do you ask somebody? Do you package them up and say, I'm trusting you to make a memory bear for me?
Yeah.
And I mean, then it's
I'm
done.
I'm thinking of things like, while I'm on the phone to you, and phone, podcast, whatever, while I'm talking to you, I've got this massive pile of newspapers here, like massive pile. These are all the papers that my business has been in.
Yeah.
I don't need those papers. I just need the cutting of the article, right? I'm just looking there thinking, I mean, that would be a massive space saver. And I've got, look at these doom piles. I mean, you're going to be like, what the hell? Yeah, these are my doom piles. Yep. They are everywhere. Like, I mean,
yeah, I actually run a session now called the Doom Box Dip.
Ooh,
and I have to do a little dance every time I say it, the Doom Box Dip.
Doom Box Dip. You can have a little song. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's where a group of us get together on Zoom, and I'm there to answer any questions, keep the encouragement going. We have a laugh, and everybody brings a box or a bag, and literally we go through it. We all go through our own stuff.
Love
it gets done, and it has that accountability. You've made that appointment with yourself.
Yeah.
Because that's what we're saying, is that people will always say, I need to declutter, but then it doesn't happen because it's too overwhelming, and it keeps going to the bottom of the priority list.
Yes.
But actually, if you did it, you'd feel far better
much
about
better.
yourself and your home and your relationships with other people, that you become a more energized and positive person.
Yes. I just have so many, like, I mean, I never realized how many piles I've got and how many things, like, you can see my bedroom behind me. I mean, that's apart from my pajamas on the bottom of the bed. I mean, like, the floor's tidy, I mean, you can see how cluttered my book area is over there. I mean, that's pretty bad. Do I read all those books? No, I do not. And do you know, I thought about putting shelves up all the way around my room so that they were above. And I don't know why I haven't done it. It's just.
But what you need to do first is you need to go through your books to find out which ones you actually love, which ones you're going to read again, which ones you might refer back to again, and then decide what storage you need for it.
Yeah, that is very true.
Because as your office space and workspace is in the corner of your room, when you go to bed, you're not having that separation.
I am not. And
so it may be that if that's where your office is going to be for the foreseeable future, then it may be get a little room divider, one of the little concertina ones.
I have got one of those somewhere, actually, from where I was, because I did that.
This is your challenge. I'm flipping it back around now.
Yeah.
Go get that room divider. You can paint it. You can leave it as it is. Just put that behind you.
Yeah.
From where you're sitting, because then that's your office. Then you're going into an office space.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also when you go to bed, you're not staring at your computer and all the work that you think, oh, I should have done that today.
Yeah, I mean, like, my boundaries are quite good with my workspace, and because I live in a 2 up, 2 down, it's, you know, I'm very very cramped is the word. And the fact that I even got a desk space, like I got this desk space in COVID because I needed to separate my life downstairs with the kids, where we spent our lives in one room, to having somewhere where in the evening I could come and do some work. But I think having the area, so I mean, I've just got a new chair, which is nice, because my COVID chair was incredibly uncomfortable, because obviously they ran out of chairs everywhere, so I just had this like fold up shit thing, which was just like, no. And I've just kind of made my office ergonomically friendly, so I've got like laptop stand and like armrests and stuff like that, but it's still overly cluttered. And I keep thinking I'm going to invest in one of those Remarkable tablets, because then I can put all of my doom piles of notebooks into one thing, where I have one thing that I write on. Access to work hopefully is going to pay for that for me. I'm thinking
but then it depends on how your brain works.
Yeah.
So that wouldn't work for me, because I know which notebook I've written about which thing in it.
Well, this is the thing. So,
and like, in different colours.
I mean, so yeah, and you can do that with Remarkable. You put them in. Once you've done something, you put it in a folder. It's really clever, really clever. Like, if you've not seen it before, have a look at them.
Right.
But they're bloody expensive. They're like £500 or something like that. So I just think, you know, I can't really warrant spending that on myself. But if somebody else,
but then do you have to scan those documents in?
No.
So it wouldn't solve the
write on it.
Existing piles.
The existing piles. Yeah, but the thing is, do I ever go back through them? No. Like, no, I don't. I forget what I've written down on them. And actually, from an organisation point, I think that would probably be a better. I've got this box. I've got this massive big wooden box, which I bought this, right? I'll show this to you. This is the big wooden box, right?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So I bought that for my husband as the bread year. No, not bread year. It was wood. The wood year, right? As our anniversary present. And he was like, "What's that for?" And I went, "It's a bread bin to put bread in." He was like, "Look, I've got a cupboard for that." And I was like, "Well, thank you." I mean, I thought it was a really nice box, and I was very excited by the fact that it's nice and wood. And he was like, "Oh, just put your stuff in it on your." Sorry. So now I use it as a place to put stuff. Can I tell you what's in there? Nope. Nothing in there is worthwhile. I might as well just throw the whole thing in the bin.
So when you look at that box, though, is that box bringing back the memory of the fact that it was a present for your husband and he didn't appreciate it?
I just quite like the box.
The box.
Yeah, it's quite a nice box. And I think, like, eventually, if I was going to get cremated, I mean, I'm going more morbid here, but if I was going to get cremated, I'd quite like to go in the box. I quite like it. It's a nice box.
You're going to have that box a long time then.
I'm going to have that. I mean, I could tidy out the crap that's in the box and put the notepads in the box. I mean, that would also be quite a good storage solution. I might do that, actually. After we've finished here today, I'm going to do one thing that sorts my desk out a little bit today.
Take a picture before and afterwards as well, because that really helps. If you look at the picture of the before, it really helps you focus on the things that are actually in that photograph.
Yeah.
And then so afterwards, then you get that, oh, yeah, actually, I've done that, because whilst you're doing it yourself, you don't notice the difference it's making.
No. So I'm going to do that. I'm not today, because I'm very back to back. Probably not this week, because I'm launching the app this week. But but what I am going to do is I'm going to do a before and after of decluttering my desk, and I'm going to tag you in it. I'm going to show you, and you can call me your prodigal child. Very exciting. So, Janine, how do people find you, and where do they, like, how can people work with you?
I generally hang out more in my Facebook group, which is Clear the Clutter Now group. And I've got a Facebook page as well, which is Clear the Clutter Now. On Instagram under the same, and I dabbled in TikTok, I've
I
not been
think
on
you should
there
dabble more. You know my feelings.
I know I need to dabble more. And and I have a website as well. I am currently going through a rebrand. So part of the website's working, part of it's not. The inquiry form is still working, so people can inquire through there, or they can just pop me a message on WhatsApp.
I love it. Amazing. It's been lovely to have you on. I think we're probably going to see a lot more of you, especially now that you're going to be an expert in the app. So our decluttering expert, Janine, she will be there hanging out. So if you want to come and ask any decluttering questions and find out more about how you can work with Janine, you know where to come. If you're listening to this podcast in the Mad About Money app, then you are in the right place. If you're listening to it on YouTube or on Spotify or Apple Music or anywhere else that is a lovely place where you can listen to podcasts, you are in the wrong place, and you need to go and download the Mad About Money app because it is completely free and it will help you to sort out your life. Both money, declutter, family, all that sort of stuff. So come and join us. Janine, it's been really great to have you on today.
Thank you so much.
Loved hearing about your journey and some of your amazing tips. This has been Mad About Money. I'm Maddy Alexander-Grout, and I'll see you next week.